Hey, I hope you guys are having fun working towards. Um, I don't know what this video gonna be necessarily about, but let me. Okay. Um, Shout out to all the ladies out there, females. I love you guys. And as I've been seeing, like from my feed on like Twitter, looking at others, feed other type situation, just in general, how the world is like the conversations that's going on within the world, and I see the strong movement towards like bringing out the power of the female, and that power is something that's desperately needed in this world that's very male dominated, ego driven, and is very just destructive in a sense. And that kind of energy been going on here for a while, and it's kind of been messing up shit. Let's just keep it real. And that now that it's coming back and it's being understood that this energy needs to be, this female energy needs to be taken in consideration. It needs to be, the dosage of it needs to be administered more freely throughout society, and people, especially in the male nature, needs to be able to honor their feminine nature more enjoyable. Man, that's not a good word. They need to honor their female nature and not dismiss it, because some of y'all males don't want to cry, things like that, and that's just, it's leaving more residue for you to have to deal with it in another lifetime, and then just causing anger, and why you wonder why we have so many domestic violence cases. You know, females kind of been throughout humanity just kind of dogged. Like, it's just been a whole like we just forgot. Like, we forgot like that females are it. They are the ones that it started from from females. Like, all this stuff started from you guys. So it's kind of interesting how the ego attacked and went on to the male side, and then we just start formulating, constructing, building. Well, females attach their emotions. They're more in tune to that, to the spirit of things. They very more in tune to like nature and stuff like that. We in words. We got words that we use, and you know what I mean. That's why more females can sing, and singing is a higher form of speaking. Singing is the highest form. Like, singing is like a beautiful thing. Speaking is like super low level, for real, monotone, just blah 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 blah, like I'm talking right now. But if I can sing this much, you know, it's like, but yeah. So that's why it seemed like, it's almost like females came up and they like, hold on, man, we gotta change this. And they looking at the situation. You know, this been happening for a while, but this is the first time it's happening. Like, it's a thing. Like, people are taking interest in. Like, even celebrities. You know, it's interesting that the world we live in, because people will peep out the movements of things and probably necessarily don't even mess with the movement, but understand that it's of the times, and you know, in order to like make a dollar, and basically layering yourself with the times of like this feminist, I guess you can say, type thing, people will take that and just like kind of use it to put profit off of a movement that's really sincere to like us as humanity. And it can sometimes on campaigns and things like that for brands or like musicians, like that's cool to capitalize on that, on the female, like kind of spread awareness on that. But if it's not coming sincerely, then I don't believe it to be really true and necessary. I feel like it's people that it's females out here that really are like trying to make this a thing where we can balance this whole thing out. And I totally agree with that. But there is there is a chance that we are missing, because you gotta understand that for the most part, males are just scared little kids, scared babies. So you look at that, and then if you're a female, you riding this wave. You want this empowerment for movement you want this empowering movement for females. Then you should jump into like learning about like awareness and things like that, and understanding that it's a like the warlike mentality on this. I would say is not the way to go. The warlike mentality of this will only get the opposite effect of what you're trying to do if it's too much warlike like attributes to this, if you're trying to get this thing going. And early on, it might need that. It might need those aggressive type of situations to get certain people that kind of reply to that well. Like some people reply to like kind of, I guess you say tough love on certain issues. But in the whole though, it's a trap within that. So like what I'm learning is that things that are positive, it's always traps within that if you go to the extreme of things and you don't balance out. And it's hard to balance out because it feel like it's never been balanced out. So you feel like you gotta go hard. But I would say that it's a book called The Power of Now. I would read that because in there it talks about how females are already closer to enlightenment than males because they're closer to their emotions, which is very, very true. We're in our mind, and our mind is like the thing that's keeping us from our emotions and keeping us from like attaching it into the essence of the eternal now. So since we already kind of at a disadvantage as a male, because that's what we do. We think logical. We think logical things, you know. So if we already at a disadvantage, you guys are at an advantage. But the thing is, you got the female pain body. It's very, very strong, and that's where, okay, as your gender, you have that whole psyche. You know what I'm saying? Then you got races on there as a psyche too, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like levels within that too that you gotta break through. So if you break through your own personal pain body of like you and your lineage of your family, you kind of get through that, you transmute that, you okay, you accept that, and you kind of come present with that. If you do that, okay, even from like past lives, you come to agreement with that. But that's that one level. Then it's another level as a female that we females feel like they've been like mistreated for so long. It's just an agony. It's an intense hatred towards the opposition, and it's there, and I feel it. It's like this energy right there, and like males have been like raping women forever, torturing, things like that. Like it's been intense over these like millions and millions of years with like what we choose to like view the women as and how we treated you guys. And it's just been very, very intense. So okay, you're looking at that, and everything is trying to teach you to let go of things. So the test with that as a female, if you're feeling these things, is to somehow, which is going to be hard. You know what I'm saying? In this body, in this energy, I'm playing off a male right now, so I can't tell you in this lifetime. I probably felt it in a past life, but I can't tell you how that feels to be a female and understand and be buttoned up against that female pain body. I can't tell you that collective pain body that's insane. You know what I mean? So only thing I can tell you is give you advice to not get lost with that and go into that and be it and accept it. Go into that, and when you feel that, whether you meditate or when you're in a social situation, if you can somehow transmute that and get past that and ride that out and let that become your teacher, so you can become so it can become a teacher, and it can push you into the now as much as possible. So that's the advice that I give to like females, to not get lost in that collective thing, because that's going, you know what I'm saying, what I just said, okay, I said that, but that's some work, you know, to for me to just be like, yeah, you can go ahead and take this anger like energy that's in you and just transmute it overnight is like not reasonable for me to like kind of place a point upon the females. I feel like it might take some time, but what I'm saying is don't get caught in that, because you know also in your own lifetime it's probably things that happen to you as a child. You know, it's probably things that happened to you as a child from like your dad and what he did to your mom, and you feeling like you need to, every man that you encounter with, you need to like make a not make a fool of, but never make them out to be they're good enough. So that's, you can get trapped into that then. So then you're mad at your dad, so you take out your energy on other males, and you feel like, and even the best of them, you make them out to be worse than what they actually are, because you're in love with that story of your own pain. So it comes a pleasure and pain with that, and that cycle keeps on going on and back and forth, because most of us don't want to let go of the identity with that pain. Because I can say this, but to let go of the identity with things that you call the little you, the things that you think that you are, that's all left brain, to like let go of that means that you kind of have to let go of like everything, let go of your identity. And if you let go of your identity, then who are you? That's the next question you will question yourself, and that question is something that you gotta go in within very, very deeply to get those answers. I can't answer it for you. Some of those answers can't be put into human words. So don't get lost in that. So things that happened to you in the past, try your best to like use techniques, because the internet, you have a thing called like YouTube. You know what I'm saying? YouTube, like, you know, like the internet is nothing but a created system that we already have. The human body is the most complex, literally the most complex thing that this world has ever seen. I mean, literally using the most complex thing to try to understand the most complex thing. And you got to get into a different level of a consciousness to really see it at a more wider level, so you won't get lost into your ego and your dysfunctional left side of your brain, and then give yourself a clean bill of health, and just lie to yourself, because it's easy for you to lie to yourself if you don't come from a broader spectrum. You just pull back and be like, hey, okay, and just come to things with a more honest approach, because it's easy to lie to yourself out here. Don't do that. But this video is about really tapping in to yourself, females, and us males. We're gonna get this. We're gonna tap into our own female energy, and we're gonna try to help this out so we can work together. Because yeah, the anger is there, but let's talk. Let's work this out. That's all I want to do. I really want to. I understand that I got this mindset, but not probably the person that did you wrong last week don't got that mindset, and that's okay. But as a collective, we getting sent energy to help us out in these areas. So don't be wary, and don't get on Twitter, you know what I'm saying, voice your opinion, let it be known that we here. But at the same time, don't get lost in that. Please don't, because then you'll just like, hating man, and then it's just like, I don't know, it's a time period, you can go through that, you know, I hate man, blah blah blah. Okay, but let's then what if the roles reverse, and then the females, I guess you say, were quote unquote like top dogs, and like males were like in a female position. So you saying, so basically you want revenge. You want revenge. That's what this is about. And I don't know, there's a lot of things about revenge that you should probably with how the single string of the silver line of like cause and effect and karma. You know what I mean? Revenge really ain't really that popping for real. And you know what I'm saying? Because this stuff gotta, you know what I'm saying, go away. But at the same time, your soul and the memory chip within that and the Akashic records, you still gotta play out those laws and play out those energies that you played out, because energy doesn't die. So you know what I'm saying? You want to zen yourself out, pin these energies together into balance so you can go up some levels, if you, so to say. So you don't wanna focus on revenge. Revenge, like, that's a cool little saying. It really, it sound cool. You know what I mean? Revenge, like you get revenge on the males, get revenge on the person that did this and that. But it's like, I don't know. Is the revenge ever really worth it though? Is it really worth it on the deathbed? I don't think so. I think if you can get your state of mind to a higher, that's the advancement. Your state of mind is really where the advancement lies, not the things that you make. The advancement of your state of mind, how much you can be honoring and gratitude of the present moment, is just being. That's where you can just look at your body and be at amazement with just what you see. That's where the advancement lies. It's a trick and it's a tale with the advancements of, like, the fact that we can create blah blah blah, fast car, self-driving car. That's what you think the advancement is, and that can very well be true outside of yourself. But we as humanity, we can have those advancements outside of ourselves. At the same time, everybody can be vibrating higher at a high, very very high level. So that's what we're after, to the joining of those two ideals of the advancement of the mental state and the advancement of things outside of us. So most of us, for the most part, are not advanced mentally or consciously. We're not advanced like that. And that's a problem that causes the wars that we have now. So if everybody was in an advancement state, when we would have no wars, it would be no poverty, it would be none of that. But obviously we are definitely mentally, neurologically degenerative. That's facts. So we got to get to a point where we can understand that and reverse and stop trying to funnel out things of creating things outside of ourselves and go back into inner self, get that control in check, and then we can just enjoy life and then create at a more relaxing, less worried about outcomes, peaceful state. That's what we're after as a humanity. And it's pretty obvious, you know. Like, mental health is being talked about. People want something for that, and they're giving us antidepressants and chemicals, when really the tropical forest of which we came from is the most complex chemistry we have ever induced. We got hooked up with that symbiotically with the fruits of the forest, which is the sexual reproductive organs of the female flower. We got introduced to that and flooded with that. It calmed our hormones down, our mammalian hormones down, and it led us to be able to read the code of DNA differently. And we were able to build this neurological system with the most complex ecological system that known to man, which is the tropical rainforest. It's nothing more complex than that. The fact that we can see colors, and the fact that trees was literally at competition with producing the most hormones, producing the most colors in order to attract us to the fruit so we can enjoy those things, because they're really just giving for us to eat and enjoy and spread their seeds. So it was a relationship with that for millions and millions of years that led us to where we're at now, and are able to, like, highly think in the extension of the juvenile period of our wonder. That's why people don't want to grow up, and we're maturing very, very rapidly, because our hormones are going back in reversion to what we're so happening, luckily, to be indoctrinated with. I mean, not induced with, sexually induced with. That was a straight relationship of, like, organs of a straight whole different species. So if that relationship was there, and we were flooded with these interesting, this interesting chemistry that's it's so complex. It's more complex than, okay, one tree in a tropical forest, in a tropical rainforest, is more complex than any pharmaceutical company, drugs, the whole pharmaceutical company, 100 times fold. 100 times over. Nothing's like the tropical rainforest. One tree is more complex than anything that we have ever encountered as far as synthetically we have made pharmaceutical, because if you look at it, a little bitty pill can affect you chemically, and if we were in the most complex biochemical situation, then wouldn't it make sense for that relationship to really affect us if we are creating the same thing outside of ourselves and trying to like affect our like brain? Wouldn't that relationship be in the forest from like the trees and the chemicals, the ecstasy, the envy, like all that stuff was already there. That's why it was a golden period, because we were infused with that, infused with just these chemicals, this cocktail that was just this swarming us, and it was just ecstasy and joy that we could never ever understand, But I'm gonna go into that a different. Shout out to Tony Wright, WRIGHT, Tony Wright. You know what I'm saying? He's bringing out some cool information. Been doing this for a little minute, so that's kind of where I got a little bit of my terminology. I ain't gonna act like I did all that. You feel me? So let that be known, females out there, man. We coming, man. Let us get flooded with that sexual. Let us get some sex in the mouth from these flowers, boy. From these sexual reproductive organ of these flowers. Let us get some of that, and we gonna come with it. I love you guys. Hope you having fun working towards